अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas College Station, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. To disobey the order of the spiritual master. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not to have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Before we move on to the class, may I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्ण विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। प्रीति दासी प्रमशाल। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every single day, giving your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण।
Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Shushmita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association every single day. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, all praise Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every single day, blessing all of us with your association. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Sanatan Dharma Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 12th chapter, 11th verse. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to read a brief introduction about Prabhu. His Grace Sanatan Dharma Prabhuji is a brahmachari from ISKCON, Pune. He is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and has been practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 12 years. Prabhuji has studied B.Tech from NIT Trichy. Prabhuji has worked as a senior manager in Tata Motors, Pune. His current services includes area management and project development heads project development head at areas around Pune. He's the counselor, youth and corporate. Second, this is not showing up in me. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Counselor, youth and corporate preacher, congregational preacher, secretary at Voice Organization, and he's also a remote mentor for NVCC Pune Temple. Prabhuji knows many languages such as English, Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Japanese. His degrees includes Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, IDC, and teachers training courses. Prabhuji would like to see us on camera when he's giving class. Please, I request everyone to be on video. Hare Krishna. Now, Prabhuji is there already on the call. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. I now hand over the call to you, Prabhu, and I have announced that everybody should be on video. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, I am on
Hare
video.
Krishna. I just wanted to check what is the time of the class? Have I come early?
5:50. No,
I-
you are perfect on time, and it's 5:50. It's not 4:50 now.
Yeah. So I thought I'm late by 1 hour. Just kidding.
No.
Prabhuji, you would have received 10 different calls from us if you are late 1 hour. You will
Yeah,
get
that's
a
true,
call
but
from us.
still. Thank you, Mataji. So what we'll do is I just thought I'll come in and set in, but anyway, our Vinita Gandharvika Mataji will be welcoming devotees. Anyway, so we will start
Today,
without further
Friday
ado.
morning, nobody is announcing, Prabhuji. Everybody is busy, I guess. Nobody was telling their names, so that's why we started 2 minutes early than regular. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay, then we'll begin. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for coming to this Srimad Bhagavatam class discussion. Today's topic and today's subject matter is going to be really interesting. At least when I was preparing the lecture, it was very interesting. And if you want me to present this interesting topic in an interesting manner, you know what is the price to pay. The price to pay is videos. That's it. I don't need anything else. Right. Thank you all so much for coming. We'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangham langaiti girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Paramanandamadam. Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome all devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. And I need some proof. If you are all able to listen to me and the proof is, please turn on your video. If you cannot turn on your video, please type something in the chat. Type Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, something which will give me some assurance that I'm talking to wonderful devotees. Hare Bol. Okay, so we are on the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, the 7th canto and a very, very special chapter, the Varnashram Dharma. If you see, as soon as the 11th chapter began, right in the verse number 2, right, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he wanted to hear about the different varnas and ashramas because not everybody can practice pure devotional service. So there is a need of a springboard. There's a need of a platform which can accommodate one's material desires also. Yes? And the 7.11 dealt with the different types of varnas, both the pure varnas as well as the mixed varnas. So we discussed this chapter, it's over. So Varna is done. Then what is next? Ashrama. So the 12th chapter predominantly talks about the duties of Brahmachari and Vanachari. 15 slokas each section. Roughly, approximately 15 slokas about the duties of Brahmachari, 15 slokas of the duty of Vanachari approximately, and there are definitely instructions for Grihasthas and Sannyasis. So please don't log off. Don't leave the meeting. Oh, Brahmachari, Vanachari? Oh, we don't come in this category. Bye. No, we don't do that. Please stay on. Because there's something going to be very interesting thing you're going to learn. So we'll start with Brahmachari Ashtakam. Please don't worry, there is no prayer like this. There is no Brahmachari Ashtakam in Vaishnava songbook. So this Brahmachari Ashtakam are the 8 aspects of Brahmachari which I have humbly come. No, Prabhupada ji has only compiled. Yes, he has only compiled. I have just given it titles. So 8 things that one should know about a Brahmachari. And we are going to do this. All this is done. As such, this is already done by very wonderful august speakers. They have done it. But still we are going to just go through it. Why we are going to go through it? Not because I am Brahmachari. You will understand the reason when I go through it. After I go through it, you will understand why did I go through it. So ready? So let us see. So the first aspect speaks about the residence of a Brahmachari. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan. Yes, he lives with under the care of the true spiritual master. And he is respecting the spiritual master, offering his pranams to the spiritual master. Acharan dasavat nicho guru sudrida sauhridam. Thus he is under the guidance of spiritual master living in a Gurukula. So that is the residence of a Brahmachari. Next, what are the duties of Brahmachari? Brahmascharati iti Brahmachari. Brahma means spiritual. So Brahmascharati means all his activities are totally spiritual. And especially the yajna that a brahmachari is supposed to follow is the Swadhyaya yajna. Swadhyaya means to absorb the shastras and meditate on the shastras. Read, listen, contemplate. Yes, so study of Vedic literature. Studies are very important. That's the duties. What is the attire of brahmachari? Okay, imagine brahmacharis were supposed to be coming with a belt, deer skin, matted hair, danda, water pot. Sacred thread is fine, but other things, then what will be your reaction? Yes, you see a brahmachari with all of these things, what will be your reaction? The reaction will be switch off the video and leave. You will all get scared, right? You will be really scared seeing such, hey, what is this? Matted hair, deer skin, danda, water pot. No, we don't want to be here. We want to leave. It's very scary. So that's why on practical grounds, Prabhupada said dhoti kurta. Yes, dhoti kurta and clean shaven head. We are a preaching movement. First dress, then address. First dress, then address. So that first dress, then address principle is very important. So that's an attire of brahmachari which we are following in ISKCON. Begging, yes, brahmachari should go out and beg. Collecting alms in the morning, collecting alms in the evening, 2 times. Eating 2 times, so collecting morning and evening, and whatever alms he has collected, he will hand over to the spiritual master. And that's the dharma of begging. So now Prabhupada, how did he translate this to be begging? So he said begging means book distribution. Go out on book distribution. Now December marathon is coming. That is begging. Correct? Go and distribute books, and whatever Lakshmi comes, put in your pocket, and you can have fruits and dry fruits. No. Collect all the money and submit it. Submit to the book account department. We can't keep anything. No money. Brahmachari handles money, but hands over money to the authorities of the temple. Exciting brahmachari life. Isaac, can I ask a question at this point of time? Prabhu, you are the speaker. You are supposed to answer questions, but I just want to ask. Please, I want participation. All right? How many of you, irrespective of your bodily gender, irrespective of your present ashram, how many of you really feel, had you got a chance, you would have joined the brahmachari ashram?
Yes, Prabhu, me first. I still have desire next life. I want to be brahmachari.
Oh my God, you will not have a next life, Mataji. You're going to go back to Godhead. We're very sure you're going to go back to Godhead. Wow. So many, huh? Nice to know that. So this is a question that my spiritual master, he had asked a group of devotees, and practically everybody raised their hands that we would have loved to be in the brahmacharya ashram and got that training of the brahmacharya ashram. So please, if somehow by whatever providence we could not, so at least by hearing, by Shravanam, we are able to relish the activities of brahmacharya. We cannot relish that way. There's no problem. So begging means book distribution. Diet. Yes, brahmachari should accept prasad. He cannot take, what is that? Lace, chips, kurkure, hide and seek biscuits, cookies, no, prasad. By the order of the spiritual master. This is very important. Sometimes if spiritual master forgets to order the disciple to eat, the disciple should not take prasad on his own initiative. Rather, he should fast. Strict. My God. And that's what would happen. No wonder why brahmachari is a very thin and skinny. Spiritual master forgets. Imagine spiritual master forgets his name. What is his name? Okay, gone. Finished. Today fasting. Even if it is feasting for others, fasting for you. No, it doesn't happen like that. So how we have is Guru Maharaj comes. All brahmacharis come. Prasadam time is say around 9:30 a.m. because we take 2 times usually. So 9:15, 9:20, 9:25, everybody will assemble and sit down. Okay, they will sit down. And then spiritual master comes, he'll offer obeisances and stand up. And when spiritual master sits, then all brahmachari will sit. And then spiritual master starts having, he will give an indication, please start. Then they start Mahaprasad, they go in their prayers. This is how we have it. So that's the discipline which is there. Sense control. Now this is very important for a brahmachari. Every ashram has a purpose. Brahmacharya ashram, the purpose of brahmacharya ashram is sense control. Now, grihastha ashram, the purpose is regulated enjoyment, not unrestricted enjoyment. Vanaprastha ashram, their purpose is detachment. And sannyas, attachment to Krishna. So every ashram has a purpose. So brahmacharya ashram is especially sense control, because unless senses are controlled, one cannot be a good grihastha. He'll remain a grihamedi. Without proper sense control, one will become grihamedi. So sense control starts with eating. Because if you see the tongue, the belly and genitals, they are in the same line. There's one line. So if tongue is controlled, belly and genitals will automatically be controlled. So that's why eating. And he should not eat and sleep. He should eat what is necessary, and rest of the time should be spent very expertly in executing responsibilities given by Guru. So you'll be given services. Very faithfully execute the services, control senses, and avoid the association of women as far as possible. The next point is point number 7, the second last point of the Brahmacharya Ashtakam. Honest avoidance of opposite sex. So very strictly abstain from living with a woman. Should not meet with grihasthas. Meet with grihasthas means he is going and just like the free flow association. We should meet with grihasthas to preach, do kirtan. Yes, you can even stay, there is no problem. You can stay at home separately. But not those fellows who are too addicted to women. And brahmachari should not speak in a lonely place with women. This is called as guhya bhashanam. Guhya bhasha. Bhashanam means to speak. Guhya means in seclusion. No, that should not be done. So this is a very important principle. Honest avoidance of the opposite sex. And finally, there is graduation. Haribo. Brahmachari graduates. After one's education is complete as a brahmachari, if you normally see, Shudras never join the brahmachari training. Shudras means they are the ones who are untrained. Even if they join, they run away. A Vaishya takes training of the brahmachari ashram for a period of at least something like 6 to 8 years. A Kshatriya takes training of brahmachari ashram for the period of almost 12 to 14 years. A Brahmana completes the training. Brahmana is a complete graduate. 25 years, 20 to 25 years of training. One completes. And then one should give dakshina, Guru dakshina, as an offering of gratitude. Just like Pandavas gave to Dronacharya, like that. And then one may leave for home and accept the next ashram, which is the Grihastha ashram, and many do that. At the same time, one may continue in the Brahmacharya ashram without adulteration. So many. Narad Muni is one of them, 4 Kumaras. They continue their vow of Brahmacharya. Yes, and they are called as Naishtika Brahmachari. Naishtik Brahmachari. On the other hand, who leave for home and accept the next ashram, they are called as Upakurvanu Brahmachari. Naishtik Brahmachari, Upakurvanu Brahmachari. So we'll once again see, Namaste Prabhu, you are Brahmachari. Why are you telling all this to us? Reason is there. So once again we will see. We spoke about Brahmachari's residence, number 1. Number 2, duties. Number 3, attire, the dress. Number 4, his begging dharma. Number 5, the diet. Number 6, sense control. Number 7, honest avoidance of opposite sex. And number 8, graduation. How he graduates. These are the 8 aspects which are taught in the previous 11 shlokas. So now we come to today's sloka. Sorry, 10 shlokas. Today is the 11th sloka. So why this Brahmachari Ashtakam where you are the only Brahmachari, Prabhu? Is there any other Brahmachari here? No, there is not. I am the only one. Then why at all this Brahmachari Ashtakam are you telling us? You want to tell us the glories of Brahmacharya? What exactly? Why? Why are you telling us? Now that reason I am going to tell. So please turn on videos to hear the reason. So before that we will just recite the shloka for today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 7, 12, 11. Etat sarvam grihastasya samam natam yaterapi guru vrittir vikalpena grihastasyartrugaminah. Now I want somebody with a loud and clear voice to read this. Very loudly, clearly. Yes, Nina Mataji, go ahead.
Translation. All the rules and regulations apply equally to the householder and the sannyasi, the member of the renounced order of life. The grahastra, however, is given permission by the spiritual master to indulge in sex during the period favorable for procreation.
Hare Krishna. Good morning. That's what I want to say. It applies equally to Grihasthas. That's why I'm telling you, please don't celebrate. Prabhu, so many rules for you. We are all free birds. No. This equally applies to householder and the sannyasis. That is why I had to take the effort to sutraize the previous shlokas in a sutrais format. So we can remember also Brahmacharya Ashtakam. You can take it like that. Because this is applicable for all ashramas. So Brahmacharya ashram is the foundation of training for all the ashramas. So there are 5 types of brahmacharis. His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj mentioned this in this book, Brahmacharya and Krishna Consciousness. How many of you read that book? No? Oh, our training starts with that. We read that book, Brahmacharya and Krishna Consciousness. It's an amazing book by Maharaj. So there he tells there are 5 types of brahmacharis. The first one is Brahmachari. Second one is Grihastha Brahmachari. Next one is Vanaprastha Brahmachari. Then is Sannyas Brahmachari. Fifth one, Brahmacharini Brahmachari. Even Matajis. So these are the 5 types of Brahmachari which one has to follow. And the whole principle of Brahmachari is based on the verse of Yajnavalkya, where he says, I think somebody can help from the meter to locate this verse. This verse is as follows. Yeah. It says, it starts with, Kaya Vacha Manasa Sarvavastashu Sarvada. See, he says that at the level of Kaya, Vacha, Manasa, something similar to that, Sarvavastashu Sarvada. This you can say, Sarvavastashu Sarvada, Sarvatra Mrituno Tyago, Brahmacharyam Prashakshasi. So main crux, I'll also find. It's a beautiful shloka. Sarvavasthasu sarva. Yes, karmana manasa vacha sarvavasthashu sarvada sarvatra mituno tyago brahmacharyam prachakshate. This verse, I'll just put it in the chat. Not the chat, in my notes, so that all of you can also see. This is the shloka. Yes. So in one's work, through one's senses, through one's mind, and through one's speech. Sarvavasthasu, no matter what are the circumstances. Sarvada, no matter what's the time. Sarvatra, everywhere, place. Time, place, circumstances. Mithuna tyago, one should give up the sex life. Brahmacharyam prachakshate, and thus practice the principle of brahmacharya, all 5 brahmacharis. This is from Yajnavalkya Samhita, this shloka. Right? So this is the whole root verse for brahmacharya. Before we go to Srila Prabhupada's purport, just wanted to tell some extra, there's an additional point, supplementary point of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says that a householder, after graduating and becoming a householder, maintaining brahmachari vows is according to his decision. He can take a call. Here Guru cannot force. See, this is one place where Guru cannot force you. That is your ashram. Brahmaji, who is the Guru of 4 Kumaras, he told them clearly that I want you to get married and beget population. He said no. They told no, we want to be Vasudev Parayan. We want to remain brahmacharis. That is acceptable. So this is one's decision whether to maintain brahmacharya or not. Similarly, a person can again decide whether one can have children or not. That is also in one's, that's what brahmacharya, if he is maintaining grihastha means he will not have children. Because sex should be used as an activity for procreation and not recreation. This is the whole crux of the purport title. Sex is meant for procreation and not recreation. But what is the most important thing? Under Guru's instruction. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. It's sometimes misunderstood that a grihastha, a householder, is permitted to indulge in sex at any time. Hare Krishna. This is a wrong conception of a grihastha life. In spiritual life, whether one is grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi or brahmachari, everyone is under the control of the spiritual master. Everybody. This is spiritual life. Under the control of spiritual master. Because that's what Rupa Goswami time and again defines as sadhana bhakti. Under spiritual master. So for brahmacharis and sannyasis, there are strong restrictions on sexual indulgence. They cannot absolve. There is no sex for them. Similarly, there are strong restrictions for grihasthas also. It's not that grihastha means you have license. You have license for sexual enjoyment. It's a wrong concept. Grihastha should indulge in sex life only in accordance with the order of Guru. Hare Krishna. That's what used to happen. In Vedic times, it is a spiritual master who will give instruction that you go, do tapasya, beget Krishna conscious children. See? Not that whenever the person would want, he would indulge in sex. No. That is life of Shudra. That is the life of a Shudra. Because if you see, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas all had a spiritual master. They are Dvijas. They have second birth. And moment they have second birth, they completely under the guidance and instructions of the spiritual master will beget children. We are going to see that. So this was open declaration. It was never done in, not that people don't come to know and later on go and inform the Guru that we have having children, please bless the child. No. Guru blesses the disciple. Then in accordance to the Guru's instruction, the disciple begets children. Therefore, it is mentioned here one must follow the orders of spiritual master. Guru Vrittir Vikalpena. following the orders of spiritual master. When the spiritual master orders the grihastha, he may accept the sex life. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.11. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. Indulgence in sex life without disobedience to the religious rules and regulations constitute a religious principle. So this is the dharma. The grihastha is allowed to indulge in sex life during the period favorable for procreation. Now there are a lot of restrictions given there. One can read Kshatriya Sardipika. What are the days in which? It is Kshatriya Sardipika. I have taken an extract. I am going to explain that. But there are some rules. I would like to mention few which are there. So there are certain days in which the sexual indulgence should be avoided. That is the day of Chaturthi, Ashtami, Ekadashi, Dwadashi, Chaturdashi. These all days should be avoided. There are rules like that. We don't, the sexual activity should not be conducted on these days. No. So the favorable period is also important for indulgence in sexual activity for begetting Krishna conscious children. And that also in accordance to spiritual master. So again and again, it's only, every line Prabhupada is writing only the same thing. As with the order of spiritual master. With the order of spiritual master. Again, see, if the spiritual master's orders allow a grihastha to engage in sex life at a particular time, then a grihastha may do so. Yes. Yes. This is how it happens. Otherwise, if spiritual master order against it, the grihastha should abstain. That's it. So spiritual master controls. Even if one becomes a grihastha, he controls. So like, Prabhupada was having a conversation with Bob Cohen. Prabhupada and Bob Cohen. So he had attended a morning lecture of Prabhupada, where Prabhupada said that one should use one's sexual energy only to beget Krishna conscious children. And then he went to Prabhupada and he asked that, Srila Prabhupada, I wish to have 2 children. Prabhupada said, that's good. Which means I get to perform sexual activity only 2 times? Prabhupada said, that's right, that's correct. In that case, so I have to do this business of marriage and setting up my house and working, etc. for this 2 times? Prabhupada said, yes. Then why do it? Prabhupada said, you're intelligent. Hare Krishna. You all got the joke? Thank you. Those who are smiling, they got it. Others are figuring out what just happened. Hare Krishna. Anyways, we come back. The grihastha must obtain permission from the spiritual master to observe the religious ceremony of Garbhadhan Samskar. Then he may approach his wife to beget children. Otherwise, not. So I'm going to tell what is Garbhadhan Samskar. I've taken some notes from Kshatriya Sadipika. But before the Garbhadhan Samskar, one Samskar comes. You know what is that Samskar? That Samskar is called Vivaha Samskar. How many of you have undergone Vivaha Samskar? Not me. I'm not raising hand. No. I'm not raising hand. I'm asking all of you. Okay. Thank you. Can you please put on the chat how many days was the marriage? Vivaha Samskaras, all these rituals. How many days did it take? Because I have no experience, I'm asking you all. 3, okay. 16, whoa. 3. 7, 4. I think which all sampradayas you all belong to? Different devotees. I got so much of confusion. Rajesh Prabhu says 1 day. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got different, right? 7, 16. This was the moment I would like to meet and discuss more. Okay. Maya Samskar. Marriage Samskar, not Maya Samskar. I'm asking on marriage Samskar. 1 day. Okay. Some of them are saying 1, 3. Okay, different. When I went through the Kshatriya Sardipika, the samskaras go on for the main rituals of marriage. I'm not talking about other things. Some people say mehendi, dance, sangeet. These things are not included, please. Not these things. Apart from that, just the ritualistic part takes 5 days. 5 days. I don't know what kind of marriage many devotees have done as per the different, the pandits, whatever the pujaris have told, they've done, but it takes 5 days. And there are so many rituals. It's not getting over only. I was basically locating where is the Garbhadan Samskar, because that comes immediately after Vivah Samskar. But Vivah Samskar is not getting over only. It is not at all getting over. I had to type next page. So I ended up reading the Vivah Samskar also. It takes 5 days. And the 5th day, I'm just going to tell the 5th day. 4 days, I leave it to you all, homework. Some of you have some trailer experience. 5th day, the husband and wife have to fast. They have to fast and they have to go to every senior, bend down fully, take their blessings and feed them prasad. They have to do it for the whole day while they are fasting. This is the final ritual. So that one day, they absolutely 5 days they didn't get time for any exercise, Surya Namaskar. So that one day will compensate for all the Surya Namaskaras. That there are 1,000 relatives, then 1,000 Surya Namaskaras. Bend, take blessings, come back. So many exercises they have to do. And finally, after all these things, the groom gets frustrated. And he said, what is all this? So many rituals and samskaras. Even before entering the Grihastha life, I am facing so many samskaras and so many rituals. I am leaving to Kashi. I want to take sannyas. Finished. And then the father-in-law will come. His father-in-law, that is the girl's father, he would come. He will come and say, no, please don't go. Don't go to Kashi Yatra. It is very important for you to perform your duties as Grihastha. My daughter will be a blessing in your life. She will help you in the path of self-realization. See, there's a dialogue that goes on. Nowadays, people do it just as a drama formality. Finished. But those days, no, they will develop renunciation. My God, see, 5 days. Especially the 5th day has been such traumatic experience. How will I live for the next 25 years in this ashram? Better let me take sannyas. Then the father-in-law convinces and makes him stay back. So all these things happen naturally. The natural vairagya. So the Grihastha ashram is started on the point of vairagya only. So he gets virakti. Oh my God, detached. That's how they start the ashram. Now, if you hear the Garbhadan Samskar, please, we should read, don't worry. Now, I am not adding anything. I am just reading it. I will read it slowly. Yeah, 1. So after morning program, 16 rounds, Mangalarti, everything, one should recite the day of Garbhadan, which means you have avoided all these days. These days are all avoided. This is an unfavorable time. It's not a favorable period. Correct. Eclipses, they're all not favorable period. So avoiding all that. The man has to rise early in the morning, take bath, do his morning sadhana, Gayatri, everything, and recite the Purusha Sukta prayer. In the evening, he has to take a mixture of mud, cow urine, water, and wash the place completely, his puja altar. And specifically, he has to chant Vishnu Swarana mantras. These are there in the Shastra. It is there in the Satkriya Deepika. What are these? Swasti Vachan. Swasti Vachan you would have heard many times. He has to recite that. And finally, he should offer argya to the Shaligram Shila. Usually the Brahmanas worship Shaligram Shila. But that day we have to arrange for one. And because the Brahmanical initiation is given to all 3. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. So offer argya to Shaligram Shila. After that, now proceed for union. And he should be in a very clean state of mind and body. And his body should be smeared with sandalwood pulp. Sandalwood paste all over his body. Now he goes. And there, the husband faces the east, wife faces the west, and with right hand over the right shoulder of the wife, he offers mantras to Prajapati. There are about 6 to 7 mantras. And he prays that I want a devotee son. Imagine. In fact, after doing this much only, one will lose the desire for sex. Sex desire will only lost. The sex desire will be lost. What to speak of going ahead? That will only be gone. Then finally, these are all as per the rules of Samved. So Samvedas give this rule. For us, Prabhupada made it very simple. What did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada said very simple. Prabhupada said chant 50 rounds before union. Both, husband and wife. Both of them should chant 50 rounds before they unite. And in fact, Kshatriyasar Deepika mentions some more things, that before the Garbhadan Samskar, for the 3 days, the husband should be away from the wife. For 3 days, he should be sleeping on the floor, on the ground. He would sleep on the ground. He would live a very simple and menial life, on a straw mat, very simply. He will live a life of an ascetic for the 3 days. And husband should take off from everything and do only bhajan. And then the 4th day is the day of union. So that's how it is done. So it is not very easy. If you see, Brahmanas generally remain brahmachari. That's what happens throughout their entire life. They remain brahmacharis because they have passed 25 years of Gurukul training. And some Brahmanas may become grihasthas and indulge in sex life. They do so under the complete control of spiritual master. Again, same thing, under control of spiritual master. Kshatriya. See, now this is also something very shocking, Prabhupada says. Kshatriya is allowed to marry more than one wife. But this also must be in accordance with the instruction of spiritual master. It means he has to marry, check with spiritual master. He has to indulge in sex life to beget children, check with spiritual master. Can you give an example of one Kshatriya who was cursed because he did not check with spiritual master before indulging in union? Any example from Bhagavatam? Easy, it's very easy. He did not tell. Pandu, he could never beget children. He got attached to his wife and he ended up, yes, but Pandu died, lost his life. Ajamil became rascal. I'm talking about some other king. He had got attached to prostitute. I don't see even if he married the prostitute. The right answer is, yes, Monika Mataji has given it. Yayati Maharaj. So Yayati, in fact, he disobeyed. Yayati was told by Shukracharya, you can unite with anybody. No problem, I don't mind. Devyani is my daughter, unite with everybody. There's no problem, anybody. But except this Sarmishtha. And what he exactly did? He united with her. Although if you see the Shastra, if you read the 9th canto of Bhagavatam says that Sarmishtha had approached him at a particular time. So he waited for her menstrual period to end. It's there in the Bhagavatam. That means the menstrual period, the woman is not supposed to be touched. So he waited for that to end. Number 2, she is a Kshatrani. Number 3, she is a Rajkumari. And a Kshatriya, when approached like this, should give children. But what was missing? Missing was the instruction of Guru. And what happened was he exactly disobeyed Guru. And thus he had to lose his youth for some time. Correct. And he had to become, from hero to zero he became. Yeah. This is not spiritual life. In spiritual life, one must conduct one's whole life under guidance of Guru. I think Prabhupada has mentioned this in every line of this purport. Under guidance of Guru. Under guidance of Guru. Yeah. Ultimate essence of life. What is the ultimate essence of life? Only one who executes the spiritual life under the direction of the spiritual master can achieve mercy of Krishna. We sing this every day, right? Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasad, yasya aprasadan nagati kutopi. This we have to take care. Some devotees say, yasya prasadat bhagavat prasad, yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. That means by mercy of spiritual master, you get mercy of Krishna, and by mercy of spiritual master, you go nowhere. No. Yasya aprasadan. When spiritual master is displeased, nagatihi. He will be nowhere, no shelterless. Kutopi, who will give him shelter? So if one desires to advance in spiritual life, but he acts whimsically, not following the orders of the spiritual master, he has no shelter. So last, final conclusion. Prabhupada also says, he concludes also on the same note. Without the spiritual master's order, even the grihastha should not indulge in sex life. So the whole purport is centered on Prabhupada has written the same thing in different sentences. Yes, sex is meant for procreation under Guru's instruction, not for recreation. That's the title that I've given to this. Hare Krishna. So if there are any questions, we can have. Can I take? Okay. Vinita Mataji, I can go ahead taking the questions. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If anybody having any questions or realizations, please go ahead. Neena Mataji, please go ahead with your question, Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet, Prabhu. All glories to all our gurus, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to all the assembled devotees here. Prabhuji, I have a very, maybe a minor question, but if you could kindly help me understand, in these days in Kali Yuga, I mean, we are understanding, and when I compare it also to these instructions are wonderful, glorious. Yes, I would like to do it. I would like to apply it in my daily life. But when we read Shastras, we come across several beings where all the Rajas and Maharajas, even even though they had their own Guru Maharajas, they would even begot children with maidservants, for example. Yeah. So isn't it slightly contradictory, Prabhu? I'm not challenging. I'm just trying to understand.
I knew this one was coming. I knew somebody's going to bring up this point. How come these guys are exceptions? Yeah, we need to understand this one thing. Now, what I've heard, assimilated as well as philosophically speculated, I'm just trying to present that. The Kshatriyas, in that sense, were even allowed to eat certain part of meat after offering to maintain some particular strength. They were allowed. Under certain yajna circumstances, yes. Kshatriyas were even allowed to take intoxication. If you see the Yadus, they do intoxicate in Prabhashetra. So some proportion, not fully, some proportion. That way Kshatriyas were allowed to gamble also. Yudhishthir Maharaj and Duryodhan, they were having a gamble. They had twice gambling match. Gambling is a regulated principle, right? They had it. Because Kshatriya, when challenged, has to accept it. He has to do the gambling. So similarly, Kshatriya has so much of rajas, rajoguna. Yes, that rajoguna, that in the Shastras, he getting dasis are actually made to serve. They're meant to serve the king. So sometimes the king would have a relationship with the dasi who would come along with the queen, along with the princess. At the time of marriage, he would have children, and that putra will be dasi putra. There are many instances. Vidura was also dasi putra, of course. He was the dasi putra which was bestowed by the mercy of Vyasdev. Right? And that is something which is not under the considerations and illicit sex. They have a lot of rajas. And they do maintain the child also. They treat him like a prince, but he's never heir apparent to the throne. So that is something accommodated, because they are taking a lot of responsibility to do the Raj Dharma. So they are given some concessions in terms of this. They have to take meat to maintain, some of them. Not all would do, but they would if needed. They would also gamble if needed. They will also have, yeah. Shamagori Mataji was saying something.
Yes, Prabhuji, like is it allowed in this yuga? Means like Kali Yuga? I think it's not.
No,
It's
Shudra Sambhava. You're right.
it's not allowed in Kali Yuga. It's Kali
No.
Yuga. It's like out of understanding. Like we cannot understand this thing. It's that situation is different, and this situation is different, and there why Kshatriyas are allowed to have multiple wives. It's political also thing, like the if some area king, he want to make him friend, so just marry his daughter. So that way they become relatives, and they will be friend later. They will not fight again. So that way they have multiple wife in different areas. This is a princess from this Raja, and like that, different. So I think it's main like a political move for them getting married, and also they will not have the like nowadays they abuse women or something like that. It's not like that. I think it's maybe because it's a different time zone, not in this Kali Yuga, especially this uh, time zone. That's what I am thinking.
Hare Krishna. So her questions was about Maharajas only, Raja Maharajas, how to understand that. And some of them were Vaishnavas also. So that they have that concession. But in Kali Yuga, as Mataji said, they're all Shudras. So this is, we are out of road. We need to understand Garuda eating fish. Oh, Garuda is eating fish, breaking 4 regulative principles. No, his rules are different. So once what happened, there was a person driving a car. So after he drove a car and there was a signaling red. So he stopped his car. And just above him, he saw, shh, your flight just drove and went. He was like, come on, traffic policeman, arrest that pilot. He's not following this law. The signal says red to stop, but the flight is going. They are not his rules. The rules for them are different. Yeah, they're different, completely different. So there is one aspect. And Mataji also mentioned, one was about this illicit sex. And even if you see the Shastras, there are cases where even the great rishis, they were invited to beget children from the womb of Kshatriya wives. There was also Devaru Utpatti. These things are not at all applicable in Kali Yuga, as Mataji, Shamagori Mataji very beautifully communicated. But however, there have been instances where great Brahma rishis were invited to beget children, but that is not considered as illicit sex, because the output of that activity is a very Krishna conscious population. That's a blessing. Even if you see how was Vyasa born, he was born with the union of Parasara and Matsagandha. And as soon as Parasara's touch came in, Parasara touched Matsyagandha, she became Satyavati, a possessor of truth. And they united in an island where there was completely fog all around. So his name became Dvaipayana. And he was blackish in color, so he became Krishna Dvaipayana. And he is the Sahitya avatar, so he became Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. So we hear all that. So Falena Parichati. You have to see the output. Falena, end result shows us what is what. Nina Mataji, does it answer your question?
Yes, indeed, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the examples. It helps certainly. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I guess
Mataji, please go ahead with your question. You can unmute, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Jai, Hari Bol. This wonderful mood of mercy that we've been given with this Grahastha ashram. And I'm seeing now, because so many people are already married, so many are already married when they come to Krishna consciousness. And when they read and hear things about having a child and how to have a son and not to indulge in sex life, it's very complicated. It's a big sacrifice. So, and according to time and circumstance too, it has a lot to do with how we're living right now, especially with the young people. And they have so many influences. I mean, Kali is just intense, now. So what do you suggest for young people? Because now when they're getting married outside of Krishna consciousness, they might be partial to Krishna, and they might want to be, follow, but at the same time, they're still a little tempted, there's temptation because they want to be a part of all of this, Patasia Morga, that's in the world. So what do you suggest for young people? They still want to have children. They still want to become Krishna conscious, and they're fighting, they're fighting. So what do you suggest?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Shri Ishoprishad Mataji. Thank you for your good question. just wanted to write something down.
Mhm.
When Krishna explains the yajna in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right? Yajna has 3 aspects. One thing is sanctioned, second is sanctified, and third is regulated. Indulging in sexual activity with one's own spouse is sanctioned. That's safe. Indulging in sexual activity with one's own spouse for the purpose of begetting Krishna conscious children is sanctified. And engaging in sexual activity with one's own spouse for the purpose of begetting Krishna conscious children up till only the age of 50 is regulated, because the 25 to 50 is Grahastha period, not beyond 50. So this is regulation. So we have to ensure that we come to this platform, but we need to really appreciate those who at least follow some aspect of it. Some of them, we have to encourage people who are not performing illicit sex. They need to be encouraged to perform this, perform sanctioned. That means with one's own spouse, right? So people who have been already doing this, they need to be sanctified. They tell them no, with Krishna conscious children. So now here's where your question comes into place, that there is so much of Rajoguna. There's so much of bombardment of Kali. There's so much of passion, what to do, especially among the youth. And one thing we observe is youth do need challenge. They need challenges, engagement, Krishna conscious challenges, engagement. I'll just tell you an example. One of my youth students, he went up to my Shiksha Guru and he asked him that, Prabhuji, I want to do Dandavat Parikrama. Have you seen Govardhan Dandavat Parikrama? Govardhan is 21 kilometers. You've seen? Yeah, there is Dandavat Parikrama. That means you offer Dandavat Pranam and you keep doing the Parikrama. That's called Dandavat Parikrama. And he had his desire. So my Shiksha Guru said this desire is done by those people who are too much in bodily concept of life. They're extremely very lusty. They want to vent out their lust. So that's why they do this. And this devotee was adamant. I want to actually have a lot of lust, Prabhuji. I want to vent out my lust like this. So you have so much of lust. Please go to the kitchen of the temple and wash all the pots. Wash the kitchen, clean the temple, engage your Rajoguna in such kind of physical activities. That is the way to vent out lust. Go out for book distribution, go out for Sankirtan. So such kind of physically taxing engagements have to be consciously prescribed in this particular youth, because once the youth is gone, it's over. Then one's senses become, even if one has desire for the lusty activity, still one will not be able to exhibit those desires. But till the time the body is tenacious, youthful, energetic, that energy has to be channelized in such outgoing activities so that we maintain the control. And especially for a grihastha, the element of touch has to be purified. So along with such kind of activities, there has to be deity worship. Because when we do deity worship, we come in contact, touch with the deities. We touch the clothes of the Lord. We touch the deity worship paraphernalia. And once we have that spiritual contact, that spiritual touch, the taste for the material contact will reduce. Vishya vartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate.
Jai,
That's it.
Hari Bol. Hari
Thank you.
Krishna. Jai, thank you. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanashri Mataji, you have question?
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You just gave an example of your Shiksha Guru giving him this alternative of washing the pots. But here,
wasn't doing dandavats and going around the parikrama, doing the parikrama, a physical activity?
Yes, it is. But that physical activity is prescribed. Now, there were 3 reasons why he did this. Number 1, this devotee had this particular thrill in doing that Dandavat Parikrama. He was not having the consciousness that, oh, I am going to be offering my Samarpanam, my Kaya, Vacha, Manasa, my Ashtanga pranams to the deity, Govardhan, who is non-different from Krishna. He was not having that. He was in the mood of a thrill, excitement. It was a youthful thrill. Number 1. Number 2, it was to tell, because his consciousness was that of a Shushka Vairagya, not of a Yukta Vairagya. So that is why he was taught a principle of Yukta Vairagya. You engage your energy in serving Krishna and his devotees, especially watching the big parts. You do that. It requires a lot of energy and effort. You do that. And lastly, it is to tell that there are so many wonderful ways of service, simple service. We don't have to do much to win the Lord. Little done, Lord won. So a simple aspect of a service can definitely please Krishna. We don't have to be like Hiranyakashipu, doing the tapasya to please. Krishna is not pleased with that. Krishna is pleased with the simplicity at heart. So we take a simple service and we do it. That is something that can please Krishna. You don't need something which will torture your body. Because even Krishna mentions about this in the Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter when he speaks about the austerity in the mode of ignorance. There's a lot of self-torture involved in that. So that's an austerity in the mode of ignorance, especially for this person. Although there's Govardhan, Giriraj Govardhan involved, but the consciousness that this person was in would have made it that way. So you can do austerity in the mode of goodness preferably. Is that all right?
Yeah, true. I have one more question, Prabhuji. Nowadays, you have these children who are highly educated. They're doctors and engineers and PhDs and postdocs, etc. Now, if even if we are Krishna conscious, and even if we are into the Bhagavatam and all this, we are doing this as parents. Now, children of today who are working from morning to noon and night do not have that kind of time, especially children who are living abroad, like my own son who is in the US, and he doesn't get the time to, be as Krishna conscious as I am. So if I'm going to convince him that, okay, look, you're not going to have an intercourse on the 4th, 8th, 11th, 12th, 14th day, he's going to just turn around and say, Mama, I don't have the time to look at the date, Then how do you tackle this kind of a situation?
Yeah. See, one thing is, whenever, this is in general, I'm speaking something very general. Although you took a specific example, we need to understand that there is a lot of generation gap between the parents and the children. And usually, this current generation, they need a tutor, mentor, coach, guide, friend, philosopher, whatever we call, who understands their mindset, right? The parents can principally present them something, Krishna. Principally, will always be right. But in order to make them sound it's practically also right, they need that kind of guidance, which can be offered to them by such a mentor who understands the generation. Number 1. Now, we cannot just like the transpose of, okay, you just have to do what we did 25 years back. Just do it. No, because everything is changing. Many things are principally everything is same, but detail wise many things are changing, right? And we have
nowadays you have children who say, oh yes, I believe in God, I believe in Krishna, but I'm not ritualistic. So
exactly. So we need somebody who can give them the answers the way they want to hear it. There are answers for all these questions, right? So it's just that they've not got that kind of presentation. So you can probably introduce your son to me. I can do some service to you.
Thankfully, he is pretty Krishna conscious. He does a lot of stuff.
I can do some service.
He's a big
point
time
is,
follower
they
of
need 2
Krishna.
things. They need the right presentation. They need the right representation. When these 2 things are right, then anyone will accept Krishna consciousness. In total.
Jai.
Yeah, true. True.
Jai Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank
There
you.
is one more raised hand. Is it Maunika Mataji?
Yeah,
Hare
she's
Krishna,
Monica.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Dandavat.
yes, Prabhuji, I have a question like whatever we read and whatever we explained. So someone who is about to get married, like people like me who are youngsters, if by chance if someone marries a non-devotee, so how to explain them? Because being a female, it becomes like one should be also understand, read and get to know. Ki one should be obedient to husband. Husband should be followed. So how to take this up or how to understand this? If you can guide, please.
Oh, sure. When this verse was given to me by Bhakti Sangjapa, I was wondering whether to take or to dive. This is why I wanted to dive. Anyway, I'll tell you the principle. What is answered? I have no experience of being grahastha. So sometimes one spouse is spiritually here. This is the level. Yes, this is the spiritual advancement of the spouse. The second spouse may be here. Spiritual understanding, etc. Now, when both of them come together in married life, not every time we can get somebody who is equal. Rukmini and Krishna were equal. Katva Mukunda Mahati Kulashila Rupa Vidya Vayor Dravidama Atmanam Dhammatulyam. So both of them were equal. So then what has to do is you maintain this consciousness. And the goal of this spouse is to elevate the consciousness of this spouse. So what has to happen is, although they maintain this consciousness, for practical activities, one may have to come down here. Okay, you come here and request this person to come here. Yes, okay, come here, let's do this. And then slowly I'll pull you up here. So we need to find a midway. That's the principle. Right? So we need to little bit bend in order to uplift the other person. If we don't do this, then there will be conflicts. There will never be a samanvaya, reconciliation. They will say, devotees are fanatic people, impractical fellows. And you will say, you are karmi, you are non-devotee, you will go to hell. That will be the dialogue. I'll take a very last question, which is there because even the time is up. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for this wonderful class. How to preach new people about the sex regulative principle? First of all, it's so difficult to bring new people to Krishna consciousness. Just do what Prabhupada did. First, give them the nice. People have two things. I was just listening to one of the lectures of a senior devotee who had come. Today, first give people the right. You have to give them 3 E's. E, E, E. Give them the right experience through kirtan and spiritual practices. Kirtan, prasad, deities. Give them that experience. Next, give them the right emotions through good relationships. Talk to them nicely. Be kind. Overlook their faults for the time being. Don't correct them immediately. They should feel a very nice elder brother, elder sister feeling. And then, when these 2 things are well set, then we do the enlightenment. Prabhupada, before mentioning about the 4 regular, he did mention about 4 regular principles. He never compromised. At the same time, how much of warmth and emotion did Prabhupada offer? Yes, Prabhupada did that. What kind of experience did Prabhupada give of the kirtan in Avalon Ballroom, or it can be in the park? Yes, where Prabhupada played the bongo and made everyone dance. So he gave them a first-class experience. He gave them such wonderful spiritual emotions, and then gave them the right enlightenment. All 3 are important. If given, this is a very wonderful package. We give this, then you will definitely see new people can accept anything. Okay, I've taken 1 minute more than the scheduled time. I seek forgiveness for that.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the nice question and answer and beautiful class. Very grateful to you, Prabhuji. We look forward for your association again and again. We would like to offer our obeisances to you. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu nam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Sanatan Dharma Prabhuji ki jai.
Say one thing. Just want to say one thing. I was not believing. I couldn't believe you were all there. I thought black boxes means gone, but then now you all turned on your audio. Now I believe you are all listening. Thank you.
We are always there, Prabhuji. We are always there. We listen class attentively. Hare Krishna.
Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Thank you. Thank you so much.